What is up, everyone? My name is Gr8r and welcome to this video outlet thing. Let's get started. Today we are continuing our January resolutions, which has the overall theme of be youthful. So last week we talked about how age isn't a number, it's a mindset. And continuing with that theme and idea, basically anyone growing up or anyone in the before stages of before they get to adulthood. So today our topic is enjoy adolescence. That is adolescence. Spelled it out on the screen in this here. The transitional period between puberty and adulthood in human development is extending mainly over teen years and terminating legally when the age of maturity is reached. Youth. Second one is the process or state of growing into maturity. Keyword I want to highlight that is growth. At this point in time, we're growing. We're showing growth. We're showing that we're not little kids anymore. Like I said last week, this doesn't mean that you're grown. I'm 20, I'm in college, I have my own car, my own job, but that doesn't mean that I've stopped growing. My dad is 43, but never in his time period has he stopped himself from trying to learn something from me and my brothers and sisters, learn something from my mom. He may be up in age or a higher age than me, but that doesn't mean he's not growing. He is an adult, he is making adult decisions and doing right by his family, but that doesn't mean he stopped growing. This is a bit of a play on words, obviously. This is to say that you should enjoy your childhood and enjoy the position that you're in now. And in enjoying adolescence, you have to understand that you don't know everything. Whenever we're little kids and we ask our parents a bunch of questions. Why is the sky blue? Why is this that? Why did the chicken cross the road? We ask our parents so many questions, and whenever we're little, it seems as if our parents know everything. They know all the math problems, they know all the reading questions, they know how to read, they know how to do everything. As we get older, we begin to understand that the world is a very big place, and it's a very vast place, filled with a bunch of knowledge and information. And there's no possible way parents can know everything. You don't know everything either. You may know a lot about pre-calculus. You may know what happens in To Kill a Mockingbird, and you also may know what she said about him during lunch after she threw the water ball in the air and screamed. You don't know everything, and you won't know everything, period. So along with not knowing everything about the world, you may not know everything about yourself. You may not know all your core values or morals because they haven't been challenged yet. You may not have a stance on underage drinking or drinking and driving or smoking or doing drugs because you haven't had to deal with that yet, or you haven't had the ability to research it and understand it for yourself. Which brings me to my second point, is to give yourself time. Not saying give yourself time for things like drugs or weed. Give yourself time to develop. Give yourself time to be able to see these things, understand these things, and then make a decision based off of that. Someone once told me, when it comes to something that's going to harm you or bring harm to you, you don't let anyone make that decision for you. You have to make that decision for yourself. At the same time, you're not an adult yet. You may not have the ability to make executive decisions about things that coincides with your parents' ruling or your parents' household. You don't have that ability yet because you don't pay bills. Like every parent will tell you, you don't pay bills, you don't put food on the table, you don't have a job, and all these other things. When it comes to you, about what you want for yourself and your future, your future, your morals, and your values, those are all decisions that you have to make. And yeah, it is a lot of pressure. When I was in high school and they were shoving college down our throats and telling us to get applications, get FAFSA, see if you can get financial aid and all these other things, it was very stressful. Very hard to sit down and think about, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? Or what do I want to do for my career? How am I going to make money? How am I going to live for the rest of my life? Give yourself time. Which is also, it goes into my third point, which is don't worry so much. If you sent in an application, you did the best you could with your grades, you did your best you could with your test scores, then let that sort itself out. If that particular college you want to go to doesn't choose you, they lost out on somebody who could bring a lot of positivity into this world through their college. But don't worry so much. I hear so many stories, and I listen to so many people's stories who went to college or who were taking their first steps into adulthood. At one instance, because they found something that they enjoyed, their entire lives would change. Dan Avidan, who is a part of a singing group called Ninja Sex Party on YouTube, as well as a gaming channel called Gr8r. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can see for yourself. He was in college for marketing. He had a business sense. He was on a track to getting a business degree, but he dropped out of college because he hated it. He hated marketing. He hated the idea of it, and he can tell this story. He can tell this story on his own, but basically, in one instance, he decided that he didn't want to do something that he hated for the rest of his life, and now he has a successful YouTube channel. He has his own successful YouTube channel. He's a part of an even more successful YouTube channel who just got 2 million subscribers. Basically, his entire life is based around making music and singing and doing the thing that he loved to do. Because in an instance where he thought he had everything figured out, he gave himself time to think. He understood that he didn't know everything about marketing and he didn't know everything about what he wanted to do. Followed his dream and didn't worry so much about all of the things that were wrapped around it. I've talked to teachers, I've talked to coaches, I've talked to engineers, I've talked to mothers, fathers. There's plenty of people who thought they had everything figured out in high school. They had everything planned. They had everything on a path set, what they thought was set for their own success. But they dropped it all because they wanted to do something, be something more. They wanted to do something different. They wanted to either follow a passion or follow something that they've always wanted to do. It sounds super corny. It really does sound super corny, but the best thing I can tell you is if you're really passionate about something, if you really want to do something, then go for it. The songs say cash rules everything around me, or money is this, money is the root of all evil. There's plenty of sayings that we can all say about money, we can recite because they've been force-fed to us ever since we were small. But realistically, money rules everything out there. Money rules the world. But when it comes to your thought process, your passion, and your ambition, but when it comes to what's in here, the world can't do anything about that unless you let it. I'm a Christian, and I strongly believe that with God anything is possible, and that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Because I'm the greatest, or I'm the best person ever, or I'm the best basketball player, best football player, or the best video maker ever. It's not because of any of that. It's because through Him, faith, through hard work, and through consistency, I know that I can do anything. The biggest thing I can tell you is you don't have to know right now. You don't have to have a plan. You don't have to know all of your college classes from the time you start to the time you graduate. You don't have to know what job you're going to have. You don't have to know how much money you're going to make. You don't have to know all of these things. Knocking your plan, if you already have that in store, if it's really what you're passionate about, then please, by all means, go for it. But for all those people who were like me in high school, sitting in classrooms, listening to things that didn't help me or hasn't helped me yet, and just really sitting there and wondering, what in the world am I going to do? What in the world will I be doing in the next 5, 10, 15 years? And when I'm doing it, will I really be happy? Will it be what I've always wanted to do? If you haven't listened to anything else I've said, please remember this. Don't worry, be happy. That is all the time I have for you guys today. I'm usually on Twitter, so you guys can follow me there and get updates about videos. You can get updates about my life and what I'm doing. Speaking of updates, I just started my first week of college, and I'm actually really excited this time. My classes fit really well. I like some of my professors, and you know, I just feel really good about this semester. These are all syllabuses and schedules and stuff, and I'm trying to be better at planning, because I've always been lackadaisical when it comes to organizing stuff. So sometimes I would forget. It's not like to a boiling point or anything. I just want to be, try to be a better student this semester and try to be a better student overall, so that when it comes down to grades, when it comes down to those final projects, I'm not stressing and pulling my hair out like everybody else usually does. My name is Gr8r, and I hope you all have a great, awesome, amazing, but especially wonderful day. I just wanted to thank you all, and thank you so much for all the love and support that you've given me. All 13 subscribers that I have now and the 115 views, I'm forever grateful, even though in YouTube standards it seems like that's just baby numbers. But to me, I'm honestly grateful and thankful that I'm able to share this with you, and I'm very happy that I get to get feedback from people, and even on this small scale, that I've already made an impact on somebody's day or been able to change somebody's attitude about something. And I'm forever grateful. I thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I pray that you keep supporting me in my endeavors to be greater, basically.